Hello, friends. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. Teaching an online class is a challenge for me. I very much enjoy the personal interaction with the students, and I very much benefit from the wonderful students that we have, especially their insights into how they view problems and how they view a lot of the different challenges that we face throughout the semester. And also I try to leverage that to support the rest of our students. So anyway, I appreciate you bearing with me. I understand that the online format does benefit a lot of the students, and that's why we do this in the springtime. I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'd like to just kind of go over the course with you a little bit. So I need to share screen too here. Okay, hopefully what you're looking at is our Canvas homepage. And so this will be primarily the way that we'll interact with each other in the class. Got the welcome here, and it's a discussion. No, this one's just an announcement. Okay, so this is just a little bit about me, and moving a little bit about me. Anyway, to me, I'm not that interesting. It's somebody that I already know fairly well. But for all of you, I still think of myself as a farm kid from Northwest Kansas, although that's been 30 years ago since I've really driven a tractor much. I've had a lot of fun in life, done a lot of fun things, done a lot of problem solving in a lot of different areas. And my purpose here at Southwestern Oklahoma State University is to help technical problem solvers kind of expand their ability, expand their horizons, and have a better life because of it. Digging into the assignments, what we're going to have for the class, there's really going to be a couple of ways that you're going to be assessed throughout this class. The assignments, there's a very set structure that I like to use for assignments. We'll go ahead and open up the first one and just kind of walk through what that's going to look like. I try to have helpful videos that explain how to do different problems and things like that. But really, for every problem, a lot of different problems, there's a problem solving structure that I want to emphasize in this course. And so the first part for me of any meaningful project is be able to come up with a way to talk about it, to summarize it, to be succinct and say, this is what we're trying to do. And so I usually find that by the time you can write a single sentence or a summary of what the question is asking, that's when I feel like you've got a good understanding of what the question's asking. Don't write that first, though. Normally, a better place to start is to come up with just a list of references and resources to help answer the question. And so if you're one of those that big into the Torah or Old Testament, I think it's also in the Quran. I'm not really sure. But anyway, there's this biblical or historical religious teaching that says there is nothing new under the sun. Right? The questions that we face today have been faced by great scholars that have gone before us. As Isaac Newton says, we have the privilege of standing on the shoulders of giants. And so the idea here is you're going to come up with a list of references where there's other people that have talked about a similar problem or a similar project, and it can provide some insight for what they found. Now, once you've got some literature on the material, the next step that comes to me that this is when I'm starting to get closer to being able to write that first sentence. It's I call it the list of assumptions. A different way to say this is, how big is the gap, right? You know what you were asked in the first place, or at least you can kind of see what you were asked in the first place by reading a problem statement. You found some documents, you found some literature, you found a website, or you Googled something, and now you've got something to go off of. Did you find a one-for-one match? Or are you going to have to take some leaps of faith to make this work? And that's what I want you to talk about. All right. Now, this is the part that I think a lot more people are familiar with, and this is a part that has driven people crazy um, for a long time. A lot of students just get bored with this idea or this concept of showing your work. Um, what I would encourage you to do in this course is to change that mindset just a little bit. I don't want you to think of when you're showing your work just proving that you knew what you were doing. You wouldn't have been here if you didn't know what you were doing. Of course you know what you're doing. That's not the part that's interesting to me. The part that's interesting to me when you're doing this part is showing me how you went from what the literature had to the solution of the problem that makes sense. And I don't want you to think of it as, convincing me that you followed the steps correctly. Instead, I want you to think of, are you able to make this entertaining? Are you able to make this fun? Would you be able to teach this to somebody else? And this is a skill set that I want you to develop because I think it's a very employable skill set. Can you effectively communicate your point of view to your teammates? Can you work well in a team? This part of it really, for me, is not, have you sufficiently shown you know what you're doing? No, that's not the point of this. The point of this is everybody's looking for individuals that can work as a part of a team. Nobody wants somebody that just is a complete island. It's like, I know the right answer. No one cares. In fact, in every class that I teach, I give you the answer because no one cares, right? Of course, we can find the answer. We can Google it, what have you. What I want to know is, how effective are you at communicating? And demonstrate that. Don't just say, oh yeah, I'm great at communicating. No, actually, this is where you put in that investment. You let your light shine a little bit. So then by the time you've done all those other 3 steps, then you could write a justification that explains why you believe this answer is correct. I believe this is correct because I was able to find literature that was very close to the question that I was trying to ask, and I really didn't have to do that big of a jump to get there. And as we worked through the problem, the narrative wasn't that hard to explain. Everything really fit together. Cool. All right. I feel like that's a solid justification. My answer matched the back of the book. No, no one cares. Yes, we can see that your answer matched the back of the book. Yay. Instead, try to think of a way that really helps you feel convinced. Yeah, I feel like I understood the problem. I feel like I've got a good grasp of what's going on, and tell that part of the story. And what I would ask you to do is, after you've done these other 4 parts, come back to this first part and see if you can improve your writing. I think it was Abraham Lincoln that might have said, I apologize for the length of this letter. I would have written a shorter one if I had more time. The idea is getting your thoughts down in the first place is difficult. Getting your thoughts to be concise is more challenging. So anyway, this is the problem solving strategy that we'll be using in a lot of the classes, a lot of the problems. Anyway, here's an example. I give you, here's 1, 2, or 3, 3 different problems from 3 different sections. I think I forgot. Well, no, let's go back to our Canvas page and I'm going to click on a button right quick, syllabus. Let's see what pops up here. Hey, there's our course summary. And then here is our syllabus. I don't know that I've got everything lined up on this yet. I might have a few dates that are still wrong that I still need to adjust. But what you'll see in the syllabus, I think I haven't updated the dates yet. I talked to you about the chapters we're going to cover, and then I give the assignments that you're going to cover. And so I try to, the dates, I need to go in and update my table and then update the dates. Anyway, 3 different problems. And so I've got 3 different, I've got different links. Sometimes it's a YouTube video. Here's one from Khan Academy that kind of explains what a function is. Lots of fun stuff in there. Anyway, Usually we'll cover 1 or 2 sections at a time. We'll cover 2 or 3 problems per section. And I don't expect you to become an expert of everything that we cover in a section. Um, we're going to cover a lot of problems. So it can be a bit of a pain. It can be a bit daunting. And if you don't have the textbook, then this 2.3 number 5 is kind of meaningless. So let's see if I've got this. Nope, I need. Well, let me see if I can find it. I've been trying to refactor it. Oh, there it is, student resources. I've been trying to refactor a lot of my files, and so I'm not used to where everything is. Anyway, this is the student resources file. It's under student resources. I'm going to promote this one level to make it easier to find, because I think that's a kind of a key thing here. All right, so these are the student resources. And so I've got a PDF copy of a old syllabus that's really not that different from our current syllabus. Then I've got PowerPoints related to each chapter that kind of does a longer explanation of each chapter. But what I find is that's not necessarily as useful as having the book. So let me see if I can. Yep, here's a copy of the book. Nope. Okay. So should be able to download that, view it, whatever you need to do. So that's the 7th edition. Technically, we're teaching out of the 8th edition. And so I've got, here's the answers to the odd problems. I think it's answers to the, yep, there's answers to the even problems. And usually I make a note if there's a difference between the odd problems and the even problems, or I'm sorry, between the 7th edition and the 8th edition. If there is a note, then I've usually got a note, okay, in the 8th edition, you need to work these problems, and the 7th edition, you work these other problems. But no, this is our shared folder with student resources in it. Lots of fun stuff in here. If you've got a Chromebook and you want to use Python, that's a resource for you here. Anyway, I provide this to you. And again, I provide you both the solutions for the odd number problems, which I took out of the back of the book, or the PDF out of the back of the PDF, and the even ones, which are provided for instructor use. The reason I provide these is, you know, you can go, everyone can Google the answers for these. Everybody can get this stuff and everybody can download it. I just try to get it all gathered up and together for you so that it's so that's available and that you don't have to struggle with that. Okay. Going back through, we're also going to have exams in this class, and I'll show you, I think exam 5 is my favorite. I think it is. Let me see if it's this one. No, that's not my favorite exam. Maybe it's exam 6. Let me open that up and take a look. Yes, this is one of my favorite exams. Okay, this one says, write a program to demonstrate the number of people to ensure the probability at least 2 of them have the same day of the year as their birthday. And make sure that that probability is at least 50%, 70%, 90, 99%. And so we've got a video on how to do this at Java, but this is what an exam looks like. Essentially what I want you to do is I want you to write some code, but I want you to still use the same problem solving method. I want you to talk about the literature you found, the Google searching you've done. I want you to take credit for how good you are at finding really good solutions on how to do this. But I also want you to talk about, you know, even though the solutions you found are good, here's what you had to do, or here's what you added to it to make it, add it your own twist. I also want to see your code. I want to see it run. And preferably, I'd like you to put that into a video. And so the idea is I want you to publicize your ability to solve this problem. I'm not worried about plagiarism, meaning I'm not worried about somebody else benefiting from your work. That's kind of the expectation. I also want you to build up your portfolio and you to advertise, hey, I'm actually really good at this. Now, if you're another person that's struggling with this, yeah, I've made that stuff available. I don't want you to have to struggle. What I want you to understand is there's a lot of good information on the internet, and you have to leverage that any way you can. And then once you've done that, find your own way to improve off of that. But typically the way the exams work, I post all the exams ahead of time, and then I allow you plenty, usually a week or so to write your program and to get it running. Also, as a part of every class that I teach, I've got a project that I want you to work on, and this project really has 3 parts. So we'll talk about this part first. I try to do things through shared documents so Canvas doesn't get filled up. But here's what I kind of need you to get done the first week of school. Okay. I'll talk about this in greater detail, I think, in a separate video, because this really does, I feel like it is justified in having its own video. But the reason I want you to look on your transcript is if anything looks wrong, like you had classes from a different school and it didn't show up, or you got told something wasn't supposed to be on your transcript, but now it's there, whatever that problem is, I just want you to look at the stupid thing and make sure that it makes sense to you. The next thing I want you to come up with is a degree sheet. Basically, this is your contract that says, this is how I'm going to graduate. And then after that, I want you to take the time and invest in yourself and actually type up a step-by-step, here's what I'm going to take this semester, here's what I'm taking next semester, and every semester after that until I graduate. Now, I added something. Please tell me who your advisor is and when will you meet with them next. A good answer for this is my advisor is insert instructor's name. I have emailed them and asked them for an appointment. I'm going to try to meet with them this week. Good answer. A bad answer is my advisor is someone I've never met and I don't ever plan on meeting with them. But all this stuff is pass fail. So even if you say, I don't care who my advisor is, they don't sound like, I don't think they'd be useful to me, that's still a passing answer. As long as you answer the question, this is not an assignment where I'm like, oh, this is a fundamental to every class that you take. No, this is to help you, benefit you, make sure you've got a good plan for your degree. This is a service that I provide. And if you want to blow it off, tell me directly that you're blowing it off. Now, this first part is really focused on getting your academics in line, because right now, all of you should be a college student because you're taking a college class. The second half of this really is more focused on what happens after you graduate. I feel confident all of you are going to be successful in your degree. And so what I want to know is, what does your resume look like right now? This is kind of like your resume and your transcript are kind of equivalent. This is, what is it, that you've done? What is it that you've accomplished? Then the next thing that I want to see is the dream job, like a job posting. If you're going to go to graduate school, then show me a graduate school posting. If you're going to join the Peace Corps, show me the Peace Corps application. Like whatever it is that you're doing after you successfully complete the degree that you're working on, show me what that looks like. Help me understand where you're headed. Now, if you're starting your own business, give me a business description or a portfolio description of other businesses that are similar. Like, how are you going to, an investment plan or something like that, or a business model, something like that. The idea or the concept of the dream job is much similar to the degree sheet, which is, where is it that you want to be? What are the skills that you need to have? What is it that you need to complete in order to be successful? And then the personal course plan and the gap analysis. Again, these are similar animals. The gap analysis basically says, be honest with yourself. If you are going to try to go out and achieve this dream of yours, with the current experiences that you have, how likely is that to happen? And what are the things that you need to identify throughout the semester that can help you, shorten that gap up? So again, I want you to get this done the first week of school. And if you're a freshman and you're like, I don't have any of this, I don't know how to do any of this. Well, cool. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help. I'll help you get started with this. If you're a senior and you're like, yeah, I've been fighting building a resume for 3.5 years now, I still don't have one, and making you do one in the first week of school sucks, you're welcome. And I hate to be that way, but you're going to graduate soon, so you've got to have a resume. So anyway, if you've done this before in the past, this is a time to break that out again, to reflect on it, to make sure that you're still on the track that you want to be on, and make any updates you need to change. Hopefully this is a stupid easy assignment. This is something that you don't have to think about too much, but if this is a challenge for you, I feel like this is all necessary for you to be a successful student and for you to be successful in your life ambitions. Okay, there are 2 more parts to the project. The first one's going to happen a little bit later in the semester, and here's this part. The gist of this, the general idea, is start making a project description. Right? So you've got some skills that you'd like to develop. And I say, woe to the student that trusts their career progression to an egghead professor. The idea is, I want you to start laying out a path for how you are going to be successful in developing your skill set, how you're going to advance yourself towards your career. And then this is going to come as a huge surprise, completely out of left field. You're going to do the second part of the project at the end of the semester. So at the start of the semester, you're writing a proposal. And at the end of the semester, you're writing a report. And the report is, how well did you do on your proposal that you proposed? What did you propose? You proposed a project that was going to help you get to where you wanted to be in your career. So anyway, a little further into the weeds on that than I needed to. Attendance. I want you to do a welcome video. If it's an online class, I'm going to be checking in on Canvas to make sure that you're progressing. You're checking in every week, and that's kind of how I'll take attendance there, is just going into Canvas and making sure that you're active there. The reason attendance matters, online classes, it's very hard to feel engaged with for me personally. I've heard that feedback for other students. The way that we've got the assignment set up, where there are discussions where you're going to post your answer, other people can see it and comment on it, and you can see other people's answers. Hopefully that helps us feel more of a connected community. But the purpose of the attendance is, I just want to make sure that I've got some sort of feedback to make sure you're progressing okay. In a course survey, university tries to ask you to give your feedback to the university about how well I'm doing, how well the course is helping you achieve your goals. And so I want to reward you with that for providing that feedback. So here's a couple of points for that. And then we've got the final. I don't do a traditional final. So I want you to pick your 5 favorite questions and then answer. And these are pass fail. This is available to you now. And here's the kind of questions that I ask for the final. And I do this in all of my classes. And my philosophy on this is a solid reflection for you to be honest with yourself about how your experience went. I feel like that's very beneficial to helping you capture, were you successful in the individual efforts that you put into the assignments and the exams. So how were you able to help others? If you could award a prize to a classmate, what would it be and why? And this is, I will tell you, I've got a certificate. I try to email the student. I try to blind carbon copy you so that you get a chance to see that I did get it sent out. And then I also carbon copy the department chair to let the department chair know, hey, we've got some great students doing some great things. Okay, the reason for this, for a final, when you're looking at all this other work, the bulk of the learning is going to happen here in the assignments. Then you're gonna reinforce that with a few exams where you're going to apply your knowledge to write a program. That's where the hard work happens. And then outside of the individual course material, you're also going to do some good hard work working through making sure you're getting the skill sets you need. And so by the time we're here at the end of the final, it's like, hey, let me give you some points for providing your feedback. I want to go back to the syllabus. So again, I use Google Docs for everything. That way, if one service is down, I still have access to it another way. tinyurl.com/swasujeremy. This is a Google Doc that's a landing page for all of my syllabuses. Here, oh, that title needs to be updated. So anyway, oh, this is where I need to update it. So just do that right quick. There we go. And that's part of the reason why I like to do these kind of Google documents. And now you can see I can just do a quick update like that. So anyway, video recording link. I do try to record various videos. I've got a shared folder where that pops up. Discrete structures, we won't have a time, so it's more difficult to just pull stuff out of there. So I will try to use YouTube to push videos over to you as I can. Announcements. We'll open the announcements right quick. First day welcome, about myself and stuff like that. A little bit about my class, my policies, my ideas. My information, email works really well to get a hold of me. My office, I have an office. I'm there as much as I can be. So here's my office hours so you can see what my schedule looks like. I try to keep myself busy. I'm going to try to be responsive to email earlier in the morning. As the day goes on, things can get crazy. I've got office hours Monday, Wednesday, Friday where folks can just kind of pop in. Friday, I am going to go down to the Computer Science 1 classroom. That way, if anybody, especially the freshmen, if anybody has questions, I'll be available down there. If you're like, hey, that's a great time for me, but I need to meet via Zoom, let me know and I'll have a Zoom session. We've got a Zoom room. That's the room I use to hold classes. So you can hop on, get a hold of me there. I try to use that for office hours as well. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 o'clock, I've got Computer Science 1. And then at 1 o'clock, I've got Computer Science 2. I'm in the Great Plains Network regional call. And so this is where we get technical support for the research computing stuff that we do. I'm going to try to eat lunch this year and get ready for classes before I actually go teach class. That would be a very nice change. I've got a couple NASA researchers that I sponsor. So Ariana Martin and I meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Jessica and I meet on Fridays over the lunch hour. And then Jake Biddy meets with me for 2 different times. Jake is also an LSAMP scholar. So anyway, anywhere that you see blue, I'm going to be in my office meeting with students. If I've got a standing meeting with the student, but that's the time that you need so that I can work with you, just email me and I'll email whoever I've got a meeting scheduled with and say, hey, this week we're going to need to move that. And so that's not a big deal. I also have other times that are available. And so if you're like, no, I can only meet at 1 o'clock on Tuesday, well, I'll find some time to do the work I need to do for this class at another time, right? I also want to say, if any of this doesn't line up, if you're like, no, dude, I work from 8 to 5 and then I've got family to pick up at 6 and I've got to cook dinner, I can only meet at 4 o'clock in the morning. Cool. We'll meet at 4 o'clock in the morning. That will be a Zoom meeting. I am not going to meet up with you anywhere on campus at 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll meet on Zoom. It'll be fine. Anyway, going back to the syllabus, I try to make all of my shared folders available. The stuff that's listed in Dropbox, we're losing access to that. So I'm getting that moved over to the shared drives. LinkedIn Learning is a great course or a great resource. So I would encourage you all to kind of take a look. There's just a ridiculous number of things in LinkedIn Learning that you can go and learn more about. So mindfulness, but they also have financial basics. They also have Photoshop, like all sorts of just random things. So anyway, that's in the syllabus. Discord, if you've got questions on homework, I would tell you get on the Discord server. If you don't know how to do that, message me. I think there's also links. Let's see. Yep. Here in the tinyurl.com/SwasuJeremy. Come down here. There's a Discord invite, and I don't think that ever expires. Discord is going to be where you can get that quick feedback on how to do the homework. If it's more of a question like, hey, I joined the Navy, how do I get out of all of my classes? And you think I'm kidding, but I'm not. Those are things, email me, let's sit down, we'll work through it. This one's going to be online, so that's not correct for this semester. I think life goes better for you if you've had Computer Science 1 and College Algebra. It'd go even better for you if you've had Computer Science 2. It'd go even better for you if you've had Calculus. But really, if you've done well in high school, you should be able to get through this class. It's not required that you buy this, and I do provide you a digital copy of the 7th edition in the resources. Attendance policy, I want to see you on Canvas. So if we have a, I'm just going to check on Canvas and make sure that you're showing up. And usually I can get a pretty good feel. If somebody's only been on Canvas for 5 minutes and it's, the middle of the semester, they're struggling. I reach out to the dean of students, and typically those are students that end up either failing the class or withdrawing from the class. Late assignments, I don't always apply this, and I understand if people get behind, but every assignment is kind of separate from another assignment. So my advice to you is focus on the current assignment, get the current assignment done. And if it takes you a week or 2 weeks or a month to get back to the one you missed, that's okay. And you might get enough bonus points that you don't need to do that old assignment. The other thing I want to say is this: we're going to have a lot of different subjects that we cover. And so if you find out that you've got one assignment that you missed because you did a little bit of that in high school and you absolutely hated that topic, but now you found something else that you absolutely love and you're really invested in it, if you want to go and do more sections or more assignments, more work related to the one you're excited about, I want to encourage that. We can substitute that in for the ones that you're less excited about. I want to be flexible and make sure that you don't get out of whack. Honors section, if you are part of the honors program and you are working on an honors thesis, I would tell you just use that for the project submission as part of the class. That's what you've chosen to do. Don't create more work for yourself. Take advantage and do the thing you were planning on doing anyway. If you're not in the honors section, don't worry about it. Again, I need to go into my table and update the dates, but the dates are accurate in Canvas. We've got the assignments listed, and they also have the YouTube videos that go with them. Sometimes there's going to be a little bit of a write-up or a blurb where you can come in and see if we started to do something. Grading, like I said, there is a definite pattern that works. And I'm not kidding when I say people have written grants that have gotten funded using this problem solving method. It works for a lot of different things. And we're going to apply this tool, this process to discrete structures, but it can be used for really anything. I also want to give you bonus points for doing videos. I know some people learn better from watching videos. So there's that. Exams, it's really about, can you write a program that works? And this is a sophomore level computer science class. I expect you to be able to write code. Does it have to be clean? No. Does it have to be fancy? Absolutely not. But you should be able to translate your ideas into code and get the code to run. Grading, a majority of your points come from the homework. A good portion come from the exams and the project. The final, I give a good number of points for the final because those are basically freebies. That's 5 questions, pass, fail, that are reflection questions. So this is a grade bump, essentially. On the attendance, if you've got good attendance, if you've been involved, putting a lot of time in on Canvas, and you're close, you happen to be, you happen to be at like 83%, or you happen to be at, somewhere mid-range in the B, I might say, yeah, but they've worked really hard. They put a lot of time into this. Let's go ahead and give them that. Just give that bump to them without doing any extra work. But in general, this kind of seems to work well for this class. If you've got 85% of the points, that's A level work in this class because what we cover is just such a vast amount of information. A generous swath again for the B range. The C range, I actually do have people that hit this range. And if you can get 50% of the points, you deserve a passing grade in this class. A D, I have handed out 1 or 2 Ds in this class, and they would tell you that life happened and that it got the best of them. But thanks to things like attendance, the reflection questions for the final, and all the discussions, if you're getting less than 25% of the points, I'm going to tell you, you probably need to retake this class when your life is a little more on track. Okay. Really, I think that's a good enough set of things to help you get started. The due dates inside Canvas are accurate. I need to go in and update the dates inside the syllabus, but for the most part, this is a class structured around homework assignments. The homework assignments are posted, and if you go in through the syllabus, you've got access to the textbook, you've got access to the questions inside the textbook. Also, the back of the book has answers to the odd questions, and then I've also provided you the instructor solution manual for the even numbered questions. A lot of work, a lot of fun, but I think this is going to be a good semester. So with that, I'll go ahead and stop my share. I appreciate all of you taking the time to invest in this learning experience. I'm excited to see what the semester brings. I'm glad we're able to offer the online section for those of you that need the online section. For those of you that absolutely would have rather had a face-to-face section, just know every fall we do face-to-face, and then every spring we do online. Currently, that's been the rotation. So with that, thank you all for your time. Email me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Thank you all for your time and have a great day.